Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is the Haves and the Have-Nots Season 6, Episode 6, and the name of this episode is Hanna's Tea. And in the words of my girl, Whitney Houston, this tea was motherfucking hot. Woo! Okay, let me get started with this episode, because this episode really gave me life. The episode opens up where it left off. Justin them broke into Wyatt's apartment with the they get tussling, they get the rumbling and tussling, and Justin is literally beating Wyatt's ass. And the only thing that saved Wyatt from getting the living life beat the fuck out of him was that Jim came in and pulled Justin off of him. And pretty much he's saying, like, what the hell is going on here? And he's like, you better stay away from Jim. He's like, yo, stay the hell away from my son. What the hell is going on? And, you know, he's pretty much said, don't you ever call Jeffrey again. I mean it. And all of a sudden, like, Jim is kind of like, who the hell are you? He's like, go to hell. That's who I am. He says that, first of all, I got your badge number. And he says, and who the hell are you? He says, I'm Jim Cryer. I'm Wyatt's father. And I got your badge number, young man. So, yeah. So I'm like, see, Justin fucking up. Justin done let his damn crazy over the black ping drive him mad when he breaking up in people's houses beating ass and shit. So it's like, dude, you got Jim Cryer now on your tail. You ain't gonna be happy till you end up dead, buried, and stinking somewhere, Justin. And maybe that's exactly what you need, because you have done entirely too much. So after we see that go on, we see that Justin finally leaves, and then, you know, before he leaves, you know, Justin tells Wyatt, don't call Jeffrey again. I mean it. And then that just kind of catches Jim's ear, like, okay, this dude coming up in here beating up on my son over Jeffrey. What? WTF? He's like, don't call Jeffrey, I mean it. Wyatt, what the hell is going on? And he's like, and he just said, get the hell out of my house. He's like, no, you need to talk to me. What the hell is going on? He was like, and he just kept being real smug and was telling him to get the hell out of his house. I don't have nothing to say to you. And he just said that, look, you know, at the end of the day, if you're attractive to Jeffrey, I don't care. Jeffrey is a good man. And I was like, wow. So we even see that, you know, obviously, Jim wouldn't care if Wyatt was gay. But Wyatt has issues with his sexuality and all of that. And personally, y'all may disagree with me, but I think Wyatt secretly does have feelings for Jeffrey. Because at the end of the day, why did you even play that role? Why would you even upset Justin like that, you know, to get under his skin? But I think also it's because, like, yeah, Justin's doing too much. But I do think that, yeah, Wyatt low-key wants Jeffrey. He just can't openly admit to it. And he's saying, but it was cool that Jim said that, look, if you were to be with Jeffrey, I wouldn't care. Jeffrey's a good guy. I like Jeffrey. And he's still telling him to get out, get out. And then he's like, and he's just still talking big shit to Jim. And Jim is like, son, do you really think I'm scared of you? And he's like, yeah, but you'll be scared of jail. And he's like, and he's still talking his big shit. You all going down, and I'ma see to it that you and Mom serve time for what you did, and all of this shit. And Jim was like, what do you think is gonna happen to you when that happens? He's like, well, my life will be so much better. And he's like, how would that be? You know, going from institution to institution to the point where you're damn near, you know, sleeping in your own vomit because you done had a drug overdose and shit. And he's like, well, I'm clean. And he's like, yes, I'm glad, son. I'm glad that you're clean. And I hope you stay clean, because I do love you. But he says that, you know, the rate you going, you're going to end up being one of these broke-ass junkies out here selling pencils for spare change. I was like, damn, Jim. I mean, Jim was giving him the real, though. And he was talking about some, you know, I'm not going to be that because I have money. He's like, yeah, you're right. You do got money. But the thing about it, you don't know nothing about money. You don't know how to manage money. You don't know how to work. You don't know how to, you don't actually know how to budget money, because think about it. You know, would someone wise spend $2 million on a property that's only worth $700,000. You know, the rate you're going, you're gonna be broke. You're gonna be broke like a lottery winner. And then he's pretty much trying to tell him, do not talk to this DA. But he's like, and he says, but he says that, yeah, if you go down this road, you're gonna end up crawling back to your mother and I. And he was like, no, I won't. You guys are getting a divorce. There ain't nothing to crawl back to. But he told him that, remember this conversation. And eventually he leaves. But yeah, that damn Wyatt is just like Jim. He's completely full of himself. And, you know, in moments when he really needs to get a reality check, he's always operating like he the know it and be all. But both of them ain't shit. So that's the whole hilarious thing about them. Then we actually get Veronica in the hospital. The doctor checks in with her. She sees that she's still bruised up. He offers pain pills, but she says no. And I'm like, why the hell would you turn down pain pills? Nobody's saying turns down pain pills. I'm just saying. And then he also lets her know that, look, you know, even though you're still kind of in somewhat bad condition, you're well enough to go home. You can check out if you want. But then there's an officer out here who wants to question you about the accident. So the officer comes in there and she questions Veronica. They go back and forth, and Veronica is just real smug with her ass and was like, you know, it's about time you guys got on your job. And you know, she even talked about that somebody ran her off the road and it was a black truck. And you know, she asked her, do you have enemies? Well, she says that, yeah, I'm a high-powered attorney. I'm pretty sure I got a lot of enemies. You know, and she says that I have an idea of who could have been behind this, but you know, I'll definitely, you know, hit you guys. He says I'll definitely let you know once I come up with something. She says, oh great, you know, we're here to do our job. And she says, well, fine, do it. But she pretty much says that, but probably I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to call your boss because you don't seem too bright. I'm like, you mean bitch? Oh my God. And then she leaves Benny. She calls Benny. Benny's phone goes straight to voicemail. If y'all saw what happened in the last episode, you know what the fuck Benny doing, and we're gonna get into that. But she leaves a message saying that she's actually, don't worry, she's on her way home and everything, and she'll see him soon. Then we actually see that David has just got out of the pretty much he just got finished talking to Jeffrey, about what's going on. So David is mad as hell. He's still at the precinct. He calls up Veronica, and Veronica's like, what the hell do you want? And he's like, why did you have Jeffrey arrested? She said, because he wouldn't listen. She's like, Jeffrey's gay. Why won't you just let this shit go? Why did you have our son arrested? And she says, the hell, he wanted to be with a man, so prison is the best place for him. I'm like, here you go with this homophobic rhetoric that you constantly spewing, you mean bitch, Veronica. And and he's just saying, like, you need to drop the charges. This is insane. This is our son. And she's like, yeah, but he won't listen, and I'm not dropping the charges. And he was like, you know what, you simple. She's like, oh, simple bitch? Call me a simple bitch and see what happens. And she's saying that, look, we need to get him out of there. He's not safe in here. And she's like, I don't care, David, and hangs up. Then all of a sudden he gets a call back and he just starts going off like, you bitch, you better get our son the hell up out of this. And she's like, hello, David? It's fucking Erica. And Erica shook like shit because she knows she's been marked by Candace to get that $100,000. So she's scared, and she was like, what's going on? Are you mad at are you mad at somebody? He's like, yeah, it's nothing. It has nothing to do with you, but don't worry about it. It's okay. And she says, what did she do? She's like, how do you know it's a woman? She's like, well, you just pretty much said, you bitch. So he pretty much says that, yes, it's his ex-wife, and there's something going on with his son. And, you can definitely tell she's scared because Candace got her, pretty much Candace got her by the throat, and if she don't play this game, Candace gonna put her ass out there. And pretty much, you know, he's asking her, is she okay? And we obviously know she's not, but she's playing it like everything's fine. But he pretty much says that, look, I got to deal with this. I don't know when I'm gonna be home, but I'll talk to you later. And then that was the end of them. Then after he gets off the phone with her, he goes and he visits Justin's ass. And this scene gave me everything because I'm getting sick of Justin and his DL, you know, Glenn Close, Fatal Attraction type bullshit that he's been pulling. You know, and pretty much he finds him sitting at his desk, and he goes to Justin and says, I need to speak to you. And he's like, I don't have nothing to say to you. He's like, and he pretty much says that, yeah, but I need to say something to you. And he says that this conversation is about you and my son. And, of course, Justin plays it off, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, look, I know you're involved with my son. I know my son is gay, so you ain't got to do all this fake shit with me. I know you and my son are involved. And he's like, well, I'm not gay. Well, he's like, well, there's a video out here that says otherwise. I'm like, you better tell his ass, David. Playing this damn DL bullshit. Everybody knows you. Your wife now knows that you and Jeffrey messing around. The whole court knows about you, Justin. Cluck, 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 cluck. Like, come the fuck on, bitch. But he pretty much told him that, you know, oh yeah, I also know that, you know, there was an investigation in the on Candace property, you know, when they found the body of Quincy Maxwell. And come to find out, you were there. And he was like, yeah, I was a part of the investigation. And, you know, and he pretty much tells him, leave my son alone. And he says, like, he's like, I'm not doing anything to your son. He's like, let me tell you again, motherfucker. Leave my son alone, or I will have so much litigation going up your ass, you're going to be worse than the damn detective on the OJ trial. I was like, you better get his ass, David. He says, I will have everything pinned on you and that you tried to frame them because you're a psychotic and jealous lover. I will have your shit on front page news. So leave my son alone. I'm like, yes! Both fathers came and checked his ass. Jim checked you about Wyatt, and David checking you about Jeffrey. It's like, yo, that damn Justin was all in his feelings, and you can just tell that his little insides was just raging because now everybody know your bullshit, and you just so reckless and so fucking crazy. You don't know that you playing into hands that can actually end your ass. Next, we see Candace is being booked. They sit her on a bench, and she's right across from Jeffrey. Her and Jeffrey start talking, and he's like, she had you arrested too? And she was like, no. She just framed you. But we can see Jeffrey is freaking out and shit, and he's pretty much, and she's trying to calm him down. She's like, look, you need to be cool. He's like, look, I can't stay over here. These people here are nasty, they're mean, they're disrespectful, and this guy is nasty, he's disgusting. Like, Jeffrey is freaking the hell out. But then he was like, oh, but she was like, yeah, but he's like, but hey, Jeffrey, you know what you did. But he's like, yeah, and you know what you did. You know, I didn't act alone. And she's like, Jeffrey, you need to shut up. And he's like, yeah, you and Benny. She's like, Jeffrey, be quiet. Because you up in jail and you talking about the case, anybody can use what the fuck you say against you. Like, seriously. So, but he's saying that, look, my mother pretty much, you know, said that I confessed to the crime. And he said that, yeah, but your father can be your defense counsel. So your father could get you out of here. But then we says that he's like, I can't be in here another minute. I got to get out of here. I just can't. Well, bitch, you would be out of there if you told your father the truth about what Justin's been doing to you. How Justin's been torturing you, raping you, doing all kind of crap since you've been locked up. If you would have reported that, he would have had ammunition to get you out immediately. But no! You choose to lie. So I don't give a fuck that Jeffrey is going through what he's going through, because Jeffrey is pretty much putting himself down Torture's lane. And he's really starting to piss me off. So the detective pretty much notices that they were talking. She tells Candace, don't talk to the patients. We gotta move. Then we go back to Veronica's house. Mitch is upstairs, because obviously Benny and Melissa have been upstairs for a very, very, very long time. So he goes up and opens the door. Benny is dog fucking the shit out of Melissa. And he's telling him to close the door, close the door. And he's like, what the fuck, Benny? Really? Like, Benny is just an ain't shit nigga with a hot dick. And that's pretty much what he is. I mean, hey, James Caldwell called it out best. So, I agree. It's like I'm seeing more and more that Benny ain't shit. Sorry about that. So then, so therefore, Mitch goes back downstairs, and he's kind of like, oh my God, you were just supposed to go up there to get some clothes, not be up in there fucking with Melissa's ass. And then we see that damn Veronica shows up, and he's like, oh, Miss Harrington, we were here to get your items. And she's like, well, they let me home, so you don't have to bring the stuff now. She's like, but where's Benny? I've been calling him, and, he's not answering my call. And she's like, oh, he's upstairs. He must have left the phone in the car. Pretty much covering his tracks and everything. But she says, well, let me go upstairs and get him. He goes up in there, busts in, he's like, look, bitch, I told you to get the hell out of here, man. He's like, look, Veronica is downstairs. Get your shit and get the hell up out of here. Like, and he's like, oh, and completely was like, oh my God, this was a mistake. This wasn't supposed to happen. But that damn Melissa done turned into a hot pocket like shit, because she's all Mitch. Well, Mitch, what about you? And he's like, are you crazy? He's like, look, he didn't finish, so why don't you finish the job? I'm like, Melissa, you fucking slut. And I was just like, yo, she has just gotten her life because Benny was giving her the D. She was moaning and everything. She was getting her life. And I'm just like, see, there go Benny. Now Benny caught in between Melissa and Veronica. So, all of a sudden, finally, Benny comes downstairs. He greets Veronica. She's like, oh. I'm like, okay, bitch, I'm getting sick and tired of you singing that song. Like, trying to play the damsel in distress. Oh, my hero. Bitch. Anyway, so they pretty much start talking and everything, and, he's pretty much asking, how she's doing and all of that, and they go back and forth. Next thing you know, we see Melissa strolls downstairs, in her little bathrobe and her heels, and she gives no fucks. She sits right there, and she's pretty much says, she's like, excuse me, don't you need to put some clothes on? She's like, oh no, I'm fine the way I am right now. And she's like, put some clothes on, girl. She's like, oh, girl. It's so funny that you're so country yet trying to be so sophisticated. I'm like, Melissa, you better go. She was just going in. And she's like, Melissa, she's like, Veronica. She's like, put your clothes, go upstairs and put some clothes on. She's like, I'm not putting on any clothes. I am fine with what I'm wearing. It is what it is. And then she's like you. And then all of a sudden she's like, and if anything, she's like, Benny, I think she pretty much tells Benny that, I think you need to excuse me because, yeah, I got to deal with this. I got to deal with this child. And then all of a sudden, Benny, also Melissa's like, why is she so overprotective of you? What's going on? So she kind of peeping that, yeah, something going on between the two of them. So she's like, you know what? I'm going to go upstairs. Okay. But, so pretty much, yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Yeah. Phone's always ringing. I forgot to put it on vibrate. But, so pretty much, she's pretty much saying that, she pretty much says, okay, well, I'm going to go upstairs, but she asks Benny to walk her upstairs or whatever, and, and then all of a sudden, she kind of tells Melissa, I'm going to deal with you later. She's like, oh no, boo-boo, you need to deal with those edges and that foundation. I was like, damn! And then once he goes upstairs, and I'm like, yo, James gonna get you, Melissa, because you fucking with Mitch. So she starts straddling Nick. She jumps on him like, don't you think I'm sexy and all this shit. He's like, girl, but Mitch like, bitch, I just saw you get banged out by my boy. You know, I ain't just gonna be sloppy seconds. So I got where Mitch was. So Mitch, she like jumped on Mitch and everything. Mitch sat her ass down and got the hell up out of there. And I'm like, bravo, Mitch. She doing too damn much. So then all of a sudden she, you know, he puts, he kind of like, you know, Veronica is all emotional. They kissing and everything, you know, Veronica and Benny, and she's like, I'm really thankful for you, and can you tuck me in? And if I wasn't so sore, I would throw it on you right now. I'm like, if only you knew, he would just throwing it down in your bed with Melissa's ass. You know, so they pretty much got everything straightened up, like everything was cool. So I'm like, damn, that's so fucking cruddy. Like, as I said, Benny ain't shit. You literally just fucked old bitch. You literally just fucked old bitch up in Veronica's bed. Like, that was just some savage shit right there. Very savage. And, you know, we end up seeing that he ends up leaving, but then he gets cornered by Melissa. It's like, you know, oh, I heard you guys kissing in the room, so that's what's going on? Hey, won't you come to my room and once you finish up? And he's like, look, I gotta go. And she's like, come on, Benny. She's like, no. He's like, look, I gotta get out of here. She's like, well, fine, leave. And he ends up leaving. Then he gets in the car with Mitch. Mitch is like laughing his ass off. He's like, ha 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 ha. And then Benny got another have a damn attitude. I'm like, nigga, don't get mad because you doing some fuck shit and dude clowning you for it. You know, and he was like saying like, man, that's some crazy ass shit, bro. What is going on? He's like, how the hell did this even happen? And he pretty much says that, look, old girl touched. Something ain't right up there. But hey, she was sexy, she had a fat ass, and I'm an ain't shit nigga with a hot dick, and I decided to give it a go. So we pretty much fine. But he pretty much says that, look, you need to work Veronica. It's like everybody got a mark. You know, he's trying to make Benny make Veronica the mark because Veronica got money to help him out, and besides, he saved her life. At this point, she'll do anything for him. But he's like, yeah, whatever. We gotta go meet your uncle and shit. So I'm like, Benny, you fucking idiot. But anyway, then we see Hanna pulls up to Catherine's house, and maybe it's just me, but did y'all get like a complete, you know, reminiscence of Gone with the Wind? You know, the plantation Tara? That's what I got when she was pulling in. That shit looked like a plantation. You got the black field workers on the land tilling the trees and tilling the lands. And I was just like, bitch, Catherine got a damn plantation out in this bitch. And you can definitely tell that's probably what it was, you know. So we actually see Catherine and Hanna embrace, you know, and she shows her around the house. There's like this pink room, and she talks about how she got married in this house, and the house was built in 1898. You know, well, if not slavery, definitely sharecropping, but it looks like a fucking plantation, literally. But he said that the house was built in 1898. Her father remodeled it, and now she just remodeled it again. And she says she's going to take it to the kitchen. So she takes it to the kitchen. She meets her new maid, Joanne, who she wants Hanna to train of how Catherine runs things, because she told her that I'm gonna get rid of this maid if she don't put up the speed. So Hanna agreed to train her. So she pretty much says that, yeah, you know, Hannah's gonna show you the ropes and everything and show you how I like things done. And then the next thing you know, damn Derek shows up. And immediately Hannah's like, Catherine, you know, because I kind of clocked it that Catherine is playing Dolly Levi from Hello Dolly. She is just acting like she is like the matchmaker that is just gonna arrange things, you know, like furniture, daffodils, and lives. I mean, that's what Catherine's giving. And then all of a sudden she was like, yeah, Derek was here fixing some things, and, you know what? Hanna, won't you put on some of that tea? You know, I always love your tea. You know, won't you, have some tea? You guys can get acquainted. And she takes Joanne. She's like, Catherine, I thought I was going to be showing, Joanne the ropes. She's like, oh, no. You're going to have a chance to talk. Make the tea, get yourself comfortable, and then we'll talk later. And I'm like, see, that damn Catherine is playing matchmaker like nobody's business. But then again, will this shit backfire? Because there also are suspicions that Derek can be the man with the lion tattoo. We don't know this yet, but then again, she don't know who Candace's father is, so it could be anybody. So next thing you know, the two of them, both Hanna and Derek, starts talking and everything, and and pretty much, she kind of laughs at it at first, and she's like, that heifer thinks she's slick. And pretty much, he was like, yeah, he's like, yeah, there's a lot going on. And she was saying, and he was saying that, but he's saying that, yeah, I told her that you turned me down. And she's like, yeah, but then I questioned. And she's like, and he's like, question what? And he questioned her, was like, look, I don't know why you turned me down. He like, I just only asked you for coffee. And, he said that's all it was. So we pretty much see Hanna and Derek, and he was saying that, look, I just want to get to know you better. But let me start. So he tells her that he's been widowed, and he has 3 kids. He has 3 sons. All of them are in college. He was married for 30 years, and she died of cancer. And this is something she can relate to because Hanna is a cancer survivor, and so is Catherine. So she can definitely relate to that. And then he also tells her that he's a deacon at Mount Calvary Church, and she talks about, oh, yes, I go to First and Annual. So they're both into church, and they're both into God. And she apologizes because she said she prejudged him. She thought that he was a dog on the prowl. And he says that, I'm sorry I gave you that impression, but I'm lonely. And, I'm kind of like an old school guy. I'm a chaser, a man that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing. And it's not the other way around. So pretty much she was saying that, yeah, this seemed to me that, yeah, you think Catherine really set all this up? But he's like, you know what? Since we ain't going to have coffee, because Hanna said that, look, I ain't going out with you for coffee, but we can have tea, and we can make this our little date. So he agreed, but he's saying that, look, let's have this tea and just see where things go. And he agrees. Then we get Candace finally gets put in her cell, and she put in that cell with that roach bitch, damn Quita Maxwell. And Quita's like, oh, don't worry. And she's like, because Candace coming in is like, what the hell y'all looking at? And all of a sudden Quita's like, oh, don't be worried about her. She ain't shit. And she's like, they finally got you, huh? Yeah, you killing my brother. And he loved you. He cared about you. And she says, you fucking crackhead. Your damn brother was psychotic and abusive. How was that love? He's like, well, he beat you because he loved you. That's why he put his hands on you, because he loved you. And, you ain't have to kill him like that, slicing him up, stabbing him up with a knife. Yeah, you ain't think I knew about that, huh? And it's how you buried him in the backyard. You need to give him a proper burial. You gonna go down for what you did to my brother. And you know what they say, will go around, come around. And she's like, you know what? You've been smoking too much shit, and you need to fucking back the fuck off, and you need to shut up. And pretty much she's talking, then next thing you know, she really started to get to Candace when she started talking about little Quincy. Look at you. Now my brother did, and now your son did. At least when he was with me, he was alive. Yeah, but you were abusing the shit out of him though with your evil ass. Trifling bitch. And she just going back and forth, and Candace is like really getting pissed because, she's talking about her son, and we all know how much Candace loved her boy. So she's pretty much said that, karma knocking at your door, Candace. You killed my brother, and now someone done killed your son. And you know, at least with me, he was alive. So that should tell you something. Next thing you know, Candace snapped and started to beat the brakes off of Kita's ass. And I was like, yes! Whoop her ass! Whoop her ass! I was so here for it. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But, I'm sorry, this shit got me hyped. But, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of the Haves and the Have-Nots. Tyler Perry, you delivered tonight with this episode. So until next time, everybody, take care.